Hi guys. So I want to continue on the series of my relocation experience shock. This is episode 3. So today I'll be talking about the weather. When I first came into Canada, I thought it was I was ready for everything until the weather introduced itself to me. Yes, the cold wasn't just cold. It was like the air had an altitude. In some province, you could get weather as low as -50. Yes, -50. Very correct. At times, the first shock I had was I was trying to, in the morning, I warmed the car before setting out. And this particular morning, I tried to warm the car, but it wasn't peaking, wasn't starting. I tried severally and it didn't happen. So I was told that my battery has gone flat. I was out of battery. Oh my God. So this is not a place you now say, okay, let's get to a mechanic. No. If your neighbor cannot help you, if you cannot call someone to help you, that means you have to call the service company to come. And they're going to charge you up to, just to start the vehicle, you're looking at about $80. Yeah, to get the vehicle start. And this is a new battery. So even before the winter, you like now, you get people try to service their vehicle, change oil, do all sorts, but not when the weather is below -50. That was the shock I had. And the weather adjustment is something else. It can freeze you, everything. And you need to get ready, get prepared, get the right gear, the winter jacket, get the right one that will serve that purpose, because you won't get a jacket that can actually cope with the weather. So you look, when you're buying your jacket, you have to check to confirm that the jackets you are buying, you'll be able to cope with the weather. Even the jacket I brought in from Nigeria, it didn't do anything. So you really have to check the jacket and know which is compatible with the weather. So that's the best way to go. So that's for winter. Then we have the spring and the fall. They are transitional, but summer can be surprisingly warm. Yeah, and there are some summer that can be very hot. So it depends on what the weather brings. So it's very unpredictable here. So you can't just conclude. Even the forecast can be done, but at the end of the day, what was forecasted may not happen. So it's just a place that just showcase that you need to understand what works. So like I said, invest in a winter gear thermal layer. So another thing is, during the winter, you see a lot of people get bigger. Why they get bigger is not that they are fat. It's because of what they layered inside. You have the thermal gear, you have the isolated boots, you wear your gloves and your head warmer. So by the time you wear all this, the thermal times people wear like 3 clothes before their real jacket. Yeah, I'm telling you for a fact. And when you see people, they look big. It's what they are putting on. They just want to protect themselves. They want to feel very warm because it's very cold out there, extremely cold. So, but it's something you can cope. I'm not discouraging you. It's something you can cope. It was for a while. At times, the winter can last for 4 months, 5 months. It depends. Then the rest of the period is something you can manage. So, but the beginning of the winter, it may not just be that cold, but it's cold. But as it gets going, it starts increasing. And you have to make the weather forecast your companion. You need to check the weather every morning. You check what the weather is saying. I think that will give you an idea of how best to dress up, especially if you have your kids. The best way to dress those kids so that they don't get very cold. And even in their schools, It's not every time they go for recess outdoor, because it depends on the weather, and you'll be informed. And the teachers will also tell you that please make sure you dress your kids properly based on the weather. It's always announced, so you don't have any reason not to, protect yourself. Then we also have to navigate ice. That's another thing. If you're walking on the walkway, at times it could be slippery and you fall. There's what they call it, ice head or something, but at times it's very slippery, so you have to be careful. I can remember one of these days we came to church, immediately we packed, almost every person was falling. My kids were just like, I said, please don't laugh. You don't know if your mom will be the next. Because the one we saw was a lady with her kids. She fell. Her kids have to I just felt that moment was so emotional. So these are the things you see here. You can actually fall, and then that is it. So you have to walk carefully, make sure you're holding firm, and also the kind of boots you wear, the winter boot, make sure that it's the strong one that can actually grab things, grip, sorry, and be very firm. So you don't need to get the ones that are very, flat and slippery. You get yourself wounded or hurt. So you use the daylight lamps, and also, more importantly, vitamin D. It's a supplement you can use to combat the seasonal blues. So thank you so much. I hope I have made some points today, and see you in the next series. Bye.